Hi gardeners, Enlightenment Garden here out in the Phoenix, Arizona area. It is November 2nd today, and today I want to do a video on a question that I get asked a lot, which is, I'm new to gardening. What are the best fruit trees I can put in the ground that will be productive for me and easy? Easy in the sense that I don't need to protect them from the sun in the summer or protect them from frost in the winter and still give me productive fruit. So I'll go through what I have found to be the best for that situation. One of the best trees that you can grow for shade, and that's just going to be a beast for you in growth, is a mulberry. If you enjoy the taste of blackberries, raspberries, mulberry is very similar to that. It's going to produce berries in the spring for you. In front here is a dwarf everbearing mulberry. Now you can see it's fairly large for a dwarf, but other mulberry trees, non-dwarf varieties, can get to 50 feet tall. This will top out around 20 feet. So you are going to need to prune this every year to keep it in check. But this can be trained into a bush. So mulberries are a great tree for beginners. If you don't have a lot of space, I definitely recommend the dwarf, so that it doesn't get too large on you. Mulberries do have invasive root structure, so you want to keep this away from your home, away from foundations. It can tolerate full-on sun, no problem in the winter, no need to protect this, and will give you a very nice bounty of mulberries. There are a lot of different varieties of mulberry. The non-dwarf ones that I'm growing are Pakistan and Shangri-La. I also have a white Persian. If you're concerned about staining, you can go with a white mulberry. Right adjacent here is another bush that I definitely recommend for a beginner gardener. It's the Acerola, or Barbados Cherry. This is also going to be more of a bush type growing habit. You can see it's gotten large. It's over the wall height here. So you will need to prune this back occasionally to keep it in check. This tree is good down to the low 20s as far as frost, but this produces a tasty cherry-like fruit both in spring and fall. And here you can see the flowers that this puts on. Very easy one to grow, fuss-free. Another highly recommended fruit tree for a beginner is the quince tree. It's disease resistant, does very well here, handles the sun in the summer. You do not need to shade protect it, and it handles the frost. This is a deciduous tree, so it actually needs a little bit of chill hours to set fruit, although not too many, in the neighborhood of 100 or so for this variety. This is a Smyrna. You can see I have loads of fruit on it. You can check out my video where I discuss this fruit in more detail. It is prized in Eastern Europe, not so common in the stores here, but they do make very tasty jams and things once you cook the pulp down. So another really nice tree that you can plant here that's going to be productive for you. If you've seen my channel, you know figs are definitely on this list. Figs are an extremely easy plant to care for in the Phoenix, Arizona area. You do not need to shade protect this in summer. This can take full-on sun. Figs generally fruit for you the first year if you get a decent variety. I've actually not had many issues with figs here. The only ones that tend to be a little temperamental are honey type figs like Cadota, white Marseille I would not recommend, and Celeste tends to drop its fruit. You're good with pretty much any other variety here. I will be coming out soon with my top 15 fig cultivars. You can't beat a fresh grown fig. Stuff you buy in the store just does not compare. So if you don't have a fig tree and you're a beginner gardener, get one. You won't be disappointed. Another very easy fruit tree to grow here is going to be an Anna apple. They do quite well here. They're a hardier variety. They're productive with fruit. Low chill, so I always get tons of fruit every year. If you like apples, you really can't go wrong with the Anna apple variety. Another one you don't really need to fuss with. Obviously, with all these trees, they're going to expect adequate water and food, but as far as their ability to grow in this climate, they do very well here. They're a good one for a beginner because they really don't need a whole lot of care or amendments. They're adaptable to the soil, and oddly enough, this is actually even fruiting again. But these generally will flower in the springtime and you'll get fruit in summertime. We live in Arizona. We're actually, a commercial grower of citrus for the US. So you really can't go wrong with citrus. Likes the sun here, does really well. Again, just adequate water, of course, and food. But as far as the elements go, you're not going to have to shade protect this the first year. You're not going to have to winter protect it. Generally speaking, most citrus is fine. Even in a light frost situation that we get, you're not going to have an issue. So lemons, this is a Meyer lemon. Here's a Eureka lemon. I have Bears and Key lime, kumquat. There are grapefruit varieties, pomelo, tangerines, tangelos, mandarins, all sorts of different citrus you can grow here. The only citrus that I advise not to get your first year is a finger lime. They look really cool, but they're actually very sun sensitive, and so you need a microclimate for those. But any other kind of citrus is going to do fantastic here. Another super easy fruit tree, or really shrub, that you can plant, very easy for beginners, is the pomegranate. Very low on chill requirements, so guaranteed to get fruit. They do take a couple years to give you a good amount of fruit, and 3 to 4 years to put on a heavy crop like you see in front. These trees are fairly drought tolerant once established. So beyond not needing any special protection in winter or summer, they will eventually thrive off of lower quantities of water. It also is not pH sensitive. It does fine in our alkaline soil here. Pink guava varieties do very well here in full-on sun. They will need a lot of water, but as far as protection, no worries in summer or winter. If we have an unusually cold winter like we had last year, you'll get some dieback on your pink guava, but they will fruit for you at a young age. They can achieve a nice size structure. This is a tree that I've had in the ground for a couple years now. Another tree that's super easy to grow, really doesn't require any skill, doesn't require extra work, is an almond tree. This is an all-in-one almond. It's a self-fertile variety. It does take a few years to finally get nuts off the tree, but it is one that you can plant in full sun. It's not a picky tree, it's not finicky, it's grown well for me. I got this as a bare root, very, very tiny plant from Stark Brothers online, and you can see it's really grown in the last 3 years. And it is producing now. And the final tree I'll leave you with as one that I would recommend on how easy it is a fruiting olive. Now, check with your HOA because there are some HOAs that ban olive trees due to the pollen. I haven't found any issues with this one. This is a dwarf variety, Arbequina. I planted, again, very small. It's grown a lot for me over the last few years, and it is producing olives for me now. So if you like, canning your own olives, this is a nice one to plant. It doesn't get too large like a lot of other olive cultivars. This one stays dwarf, and just like all the other trees I've shown today, does not require any extra care. It can deal with our summers uncovered, and winter you don't have to worry about here in the Phoenix area because we don't get down below 20. Below 20 and olive trees can get damaged and even killed. But our climate is fine for that tree. I would suggest, of course, to try the fruit. Even store-bought, it's not going to be as good as homegrown. But try the fruit and make sure that you like it before you plant a tree. So the trees I mentioned today really are the ones that someone who doesn't have a whole lot of time to invest in their garden but wants to start a fruit orchard can begin with. They're also great plants to start as your infrastructure because they can tolerate the elements so well, provide an understory for plants that need more protection. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.